I'm going to discuss the roles and responsibilities for the 3-5-2 formation. So here we have our left back, our right back, and our central defender. We'll talk about them a little bit first. So the main objective for these players when we are defending is to stay in tight, nice and compact, and protect our goal. If we are playing against just one player, depending on where the ball goes, that player's movement will shift here. This situation, the right back will pick them up, our centre back will be free, so we've got the pressure in case the ball comes in, or when the ball comes in we're pressing. If they try and beat the player here, the centre back can cover. Same if they go the other side, the centre back can go in and cover. If the ball shifts sides, the striker should shift also, and then the same thing. So in this we have the pressure, the cover and the balance, depending on what side it goes. We want to try and keep our centre back free so that they can shift between the two. However, if this player sits central and we end up marking here with our centre back, the right back would be into cover and possibly the left back would be into cover, but then this leaves those big channels out wide, which means it's a bigger distance for them to cover. So ideally we want to have either the left back or the right back picking up this striker. If the other team do play with two, which I feel like most teams do, you're going to be picking up here, right back, left back, and we've made it a 3v2 situation, so we're numbers up. Again, if the ball shifts into here, we'd expect the left back to stay, the centre back to be here to cover either way and make it a 2v1. If this player shifts, of course, we can mark up here. However, if we're beaten in here with the ball, there's no one to cover. So again, we want to keep the centre back free with the numbers up so that they can make it if the ball does go that 2v1, and if they beat them in here, they can be there to make the tackle. There may be some teams that we play that will throw an extra striker in there and they'll play with three up top. So we'll be looking like this, and a lot of the times they'll sit like that. They'll maybe be narrow or they'll go out nice and wide. Regardless of what happens here is we want to pull back that holding midfield to help out with this defensive responsibility. So they would possibly go, instead of sitting just in front of the defenders and behind the midfield, they will come in here and we'll be marked up, and again this player can shift between the two. If the ball's on this side, the centre back can be split, so wherever it goes they can cover both ways. We still have a numbers up situation. Another option of course is for the holding midfield player to go and the centre back to mark. This takes a lot more organising and direction. However, it does, if we win the ball, allow them to step up a little bit quicker, but to be honest it's no different from winning the ball and marking to stepping in from there. So that's what we do if they played three up top. So for this holding midfield, if it's a situation where they do have three players up, when they have the ball, you're probably going to want to drop in to help this back, to make it a back four and stay nice and compact and solid. But most of the time, we'd assume there's the two, and we would be sitting in here. So as you can see, you're just behind the two central midfield players, and we're just in front of this back three. You really want to take away spaces here to stop the balls being played into the strikers, and again if the ball shifts here you'll shift over, taking away that space. If it shifts to there, you're shifting in there as well. You're going to be helping, obviously we spoke about helping the back three, you're going to be helping these midfield players as well. So with them, what they will be doing is marking up player for player, and then if they manage to get past this player, again you're acting almost like the centre back in here where you're making it 2v1 numbers up, but something different that you're doing is trying to take away these gaps to stop penetrating balls going through and breaking our lines. So wherever they have the ball and shift, you want to be close enough to step in and win it, but also be in a position to stop that pass. So what we're going to talk about now, we have our central midfielders here, but before that we're going to address the wings. So we have our right wing and our left wing, and the green come in here. So as you can see, we mark up player for player. So it's wingers marking wingers. A lot of coaches don't push this and don't do it. They're quite happy for their wingers to stay nice and high and then have the right and left backs go and mark them. For us, we are not going to practice that this season, because if when we go out here, it makes it hard to be numbers up to win the ball back. So the opposition's team will play high with their wings in here. It's a big ask, but we expect the left and right back to be marking in here and our wingers to mark there. This will allow us to shift over in here with our right back. The centre back can shift, and then we have the option of the holding mid dropping in here, or the left defender pulling over and being there, and then ideally having our holding mid free in here again to take up space. So what would happen here is if the ball is here and it gets played into this player, they're marked and they're in a 2v1 situation. So straight away, if this player beats this player, the right back should be there to win it. If we go and play in here, the centre back is now marking, but it means that our right defender is free to go in and win it, and our left defender is covering this area to again make it numbers up. And we always have that one player free who can step in and win the ball. If we have this player pressing up, we do go here, and then what would happen is the centre back would shift over, which leaves this big gap in the middle, which is dangerous because we want to protect the goal. That's the back three, want to be protecting in here. Of course, this player can shift over, but then again, this player shifts over. It's a lot of movement and it leaves us completely wide open here. So what we want to be doing is avoiding that by having this player just come in. It's easier for us to be organised and marked up. It's the exact same on the opposite side. So here, once we do get the ball from here, something that's really going to help us with these wingers, and again, for me, wingers want to be attacking players. They want to get forward, they want to go. They don't love to defend. There's nothing wrong with that. But here, this is your main responsibility to get these players marked up, because the opportunity that it will give you is when we can get that ball, you're going to have this full channel of space to go, because it's highly unlikely this player is going to track you back every single time, and it's highly unlikely they're going to get the ball much, which every single winger complains, I don't get passes enough, I don't get on the ball enough. It's going to lead to frustration, and it's going to open up the gate for you to be flying down this line with the ball and getting in. It's also going to put you in a situation with their left back here, which is a 1v1, and if you have the ball, there's great confidence in you to beat this player and either deliver a good cross or go directly to goal. So here we're getting that great situation of being in a 1v1, and back here we're getting that great situation of being numbers up, either the 3v2 or, looking at it this way, a 2v1. So with our midfield, when this happens, again, it's very similar to what's happening with the wingers. Is we want to be marking almost man for man, but there's a lot more space to consider in here, so we've got to be smart with it and think about it. We do have our holding mid that's helping us out, just in here. Depending on where the ball is, that makes your decision. So here, if this player picks up the ball, we'd expect this side to go and press, this side to be in the cover, and then this holding mid to either balances either way, depending on where they think the play will go. If it does shift, we'd expect this player to go and press, this one to cover in, and then again possibly have that balance, or to sit in here looking at where the passes could go. This is the most important thing here, is that these two players realise that we don't need to desperately win the ball. What we can do here is put that pressure on and then slow them down. This allows us to make sure our wingers, if they have been knocked forward and we've lost the ball, gives them time to get back. It lets our holding mid get into a good position to take away the passes and protect the back three, and it lets our back three get really organised. This then gives us the opportunity to be numbers up, which we will, because we do have so many players back behind the ball. So for the midfield, we really do need to be thinking about that. Something that will happen, because our wingers are doing such a good job of being marked up and being defensive here, is the opposition's left and right back will push up. When this happens, the ball may shift into this area, Again, here is a great situation because we've shifted over, we've created that 3v2, but more than likely it's a 2v1 here because our holding mid will close this off. Then we have to push inside to here to take away the inside of the field and show them down into this area. The other midfield shifts over here to stop the pass going centrally to strikers, and now we've literally forced this pass into a 2v1 situation where if we do end up winning the ball, their right back is out of position and we'll have our winger breaking forward into a great space and 2 strikers still up top. So here's a big ask, but as a middle of midfield player, you need to be watching where the ball's going, then reading it. As you're reading the game, look to anticipate that ball's shifting and just be here. And again, we don't need to win it. We need to slow it down, put enough pressure on it and make the play very obvious where they have to go and force them into a bad situation. Of course, if they're struggling to get there, this is where our holding mid can come and help, and they maybe transition into a different position there where they've switched over. And as soon as we can, we shift back to where we were. So that's for the midfield. The next players we're going to talk about and their defensive responsibilities are our 2 strikers. So we're going to play with this partnership up top. We'll assume most teams will have a back 4, which is completely fine. Wherever the ball is, we are expecting these 2 players to be there. Very similar to what the midfield are doing, making the play predictable. So we're looking to shift here to the inside, while the other striker is there nice and close to shut it off. If the ball shifts, possibly this one comes, that one makes the run here, and we close off to there. And then again, if it shifts, we keep going. Eventually what will happen is they'll either play back and it allows us to move forward, and it also lets these other players come up to help get our numbers up to defend it. But more than likely, they'll look to just play the ball long where we should be organised to step in and win it. And now we transition into a counter-attack going forward. Very, very important that these 2 players are, whenever any one of the back 4 has the ball, they are right on top of them together as a partnership. They must defend together, because if we have one player just pressing here, there's too much space. They're easy beat this one over here. They're not helping out at all. We need to really shift in and take away the space as much as they can, because this back 4 does have a lot of space. What we're going to talk about now quickly is when we do win the ball, looking to get it forward and now transitioning into the attacking responsibilities of the team. We have touched on it. We want the wingers to get forward as much as possible. Our midfield are up and down, especially with that holding mid in there. We need to just keep balanced. So what we want to do, our main objective as much as we can going forward, is to have these strikers and the ball getting played into them. So if we end up with the ball here, let's say our winger has won it and they managed to break into this position here, we could have this player dropping in. They become the first striker, the second striker stays high, and we're looking to play that ball in here. We are now very high and close to the goal. This allows this winger to get forward into space, this winger to get forward into space. We assume they might track back, they might stay high. We've created a good 1v1 situation here. We have great width to look and get forward. We can have this other striker now making the run across. We could play here, we could look to shoot. Of course, if it's split like this, they can turn and go to goal. We can play directly wide into this 1v1 situation, same on this side. We also have a midfield pushing up into here and another one just sitting out it. Here we could play in, they can go to goal, we could play in, we could push it wide, getting crosses in, looking for that overlapping run for the wide player. We could literally sit here for hours talking about all the different variations of passing and where the movement goes. If we really want, the striker can get really high, the other midfielder can come in, and we have our holding midfield pushing up as an outlet pass. If we cannot go forward, we can always play back in here and we can look to shift side from side. But the main objective is to get that ball into the striker and allow those different movements and then the numerous situations that we could have going forward. when that does happen and the ball gets into the second striker, which is the highest striker, we should be up here in their half, putting a lot of pressure on them, making those runs, different situations, and our back three should push as high as we can, obviously to keep them offside, and again keep it in their half. If these players get very high, there is absolutely no issue with the right back shifting over or the left back shifting in there and getting forward. We need to be aware that our numbers are good here, so if they do have two, we don't want to be left man for man. This is where again the holding mid would sit in front, or if we really want it to be comfortable, have them sitting side by side. We have the centre back sitting out of it. So the main objective that we want to see from our strikers, though, to allow our players to get up and down and to buy them a bit of time, is to receive the ball into feet. So a way that it's going to help this is their movement, and again it's playing real close together. So here, as they go, if the ball shifts to this side, the player that's on that side, you would like them to come in, and it opens up that space to the centre of the field. We want to get into this area because that's where the goal is. It's fine to go wide, but once we get shown out wide with the ball, as you can see, this is the area we're playing into. And to really score, we've got to go from here in there anyway. Why not try and get into here first? Another thing that's very common for most teams, and most coaches will say, push them wide, let's get them out wide, show them to the side. As soon as we do that, we're running out of space. So if they're already trying to show us here, if we can penetrate and get inside, they're caught out of position and they're very unorganised. So here, this is if the ball shifts and it's on this side, those strikers are up here like this, playing very close together. As that ball goes there, we're looking for this player to come in and play. They're definitely screaming, asking for the ball. We want to miss them and go around. Of course, if this player gets doubled up and marked, can we play in here? 100%. Then we turn and go. We have the option going forward. We have the midfield stepping up for support. Or if it opens up like this, we go as that player maybe shifts. This player's now through. It really opens up and makes decisions really easy by always being set and looking to get the ball into these two strikers and then playing together as a partnership. So shifting in here, shifting in there, but staying high. We want to play on their last defender. So if you're the second striker, the highest one, that player's there. As that one shifts, you want to come in here and be there so we have more space in the middle. Of course, if we have this ball, we don't need to play to the strikers, and we have the space here, and they're not marking us. We go in, we take the shots. When it goes out wide, again, there's nothing wrong with this. This is a great option to go 1v1 with that defender and try and drive in, get the cross, or even getting in here and cutting into goal. But the thing that's going to give us the most opportunities and maximises is playing the ball into these strikers and having that good movement. There will be times when we are really deep in our half, and all that we can really get away with doing is clearing the ball up. So as they all push up here, if we are struggling to get that ball and it's a bit of a mess, we win it here, we just play it into them. We want them to hold it up to again get our numbers up and forward. So if they hold on to it, it gives us time to get there. We play here, then again we have these big gaps to play into, and it's a 1v1. This player's now facing their own goal, which is a no for any defender. We can get in and go. Then these players can spin off and make their runs. Maybe it's a cross, maybe it's a through ball. But again, sometimes it's just clearing it. But these two players working hard to go and win it and get the ball so that we can go forward. There's going to be plenty of times when this does happen, and we're going to win the ball here, and they're going to be marked up like this. Maybe this player's pushed high. If we try and turn and go, you may beat that first defender for sure. But to make this run all the way from halfway, with 2 or 3 defenders chasing you, you'll maybe get away with doing it once a game and being successful, but you're going to be absolutely knackered after it. So it's very important